center field. Mullins is back, and Bobby Witt Jr. has his second home run of the year.
What a sound.
That was like yesterday's home run.
Oh, yeah. He stayed
swinging a golf club.
Right, and he's staying right down through the ball and lifting, finishing high. That's some kind of swing.
I really had a nice episode lined up. I did. I had my positive show notes all laid out here on the side of my desk. I thought, you know what? The Kansas City Royals wouldn't disappoint me on a Monday, right? They wouldn't start off my work week. The very first Monday game of the 2024 season, they wouldn't start it off with a disappointing loss, right? Right? Wrong. The Kansas City Royals dropped their season opener against the Baltimore Orioles out in Camden Yards 6-4, thanks to a walk-off home run from none other than Jordan Westburg, the guy who replaced Adam Frazier at second base for the Baltimore Orioles after the 2023 season. I am Jake Milham, and welcome to the Royals Recap, where we take every single game, break it down into some bite-sized chunks. I give you my little editorial sprinkle, and we hear from some players and coaches after the game. Truthfully, right now, I'm recording this just a couple minutes after the final pitch. I'm still seeing Nick Anderson squatting down on the mound like, what the hell just happened? That ball really was a home run, huh? That actually happened? Yeah, Nick. It did. Okay, good job. Now every single new bullpen acquisition from the Kansas City Royals has sucked already in 2024. Congratulations, guys. I'm really proud of you. We're really continuing the Royals' way from 2023, it seems, with just some new faces and some more experienced faces. And now we know why the Kansas City Royals were able to sign some of these guys, apparently. I'm genuinely just frustrated. I was feeling really, really good about this game because there were some good things to like, especially as the game started off. The Royals jump out to a 3-0 lead in the top of the third thanks to a home run from Bobby Witt Jr. himself. And then Vinny Pasquantino gets on base, and lo and behold, Salvador Perez, he comes through with a jack of his own, and they're coasting for the most part, right? We're good to go. Yeah, I get it. Michael Wacha, it wasn't great. It wasn't great there. He surrendered that lead that the Royals had in the bottom of the fourth, thanks to a 2-run homer from Ryan Mountcastle, who I've watched him play it in a Norfolk Tides uniform. Listen, that guy can hit some moonshots. He really can, and that was a pretty home run from him. But after all of this talk of situational hitting that we've heard it from the broadcast. We've heard it in spring training. We heard it in the offseason. This is why we brought in veteran hitters like Hunter Renfroe and Adam Frazier for their situational hitting. Yeah, how'd that work out today? Hunter Renfroe, his pop out to second base in the top of the eighth, bases loaded with one out, and pops out to the middle infield. Yeah, this is the guy that's supposed to be able to put it over the fence, right? Hunter Renfroe, that guy? Yep, nope. Could barely get it past into the outfield grass, much less out of Camden Yards. Now, I am going to say this. A lot of the late inning collapse is it's probably going to fall on Nick Lofton. He had a pretty ugly couple of at-bats today. Even just his strikeout in the top of the eighth, still bases loaded, mind you, with 2 outs. That took the Kansas City Royals out of the win probability edge, if you will. Heading into his AB, even after Renfroe's pop out, they still had a 53.6% chance of winning. After Lofton struck out, boom, down to the basement, 39.5%. That one change, it absolutely astounds me. And I had hope. I really, really did. Because Adley Rutschman, he got on base after Nick Lofton couldn't field a ball correctly. And lo and behold, it happened again. Ryan Mountcastle, he singled after Nick Lofton couldn't field another throw from Bobby Witt Jr., and that scored Gunnar Henderson. It was a comedy of errors, if you will, from the 8th and the 9th inning from the Kansas City Royals. But like I said, they gave me hope. Nelson Velasquez, he had an all right plate appearance. He got froze up by Craig Kimbrell. That's okay. He's a future Hall of Famer. It happens. Got to take your lumps when you can. Kyle Isbell, he singled. He got on base. Finally, after getting robbed of 2 hits earlier on in the game. And then, Kyle Isbell goes to the bench. Dairon Blanco gets on the base pass. You never know what's going to happen. What did he go and do? Stole second. Boom. Just like that. Then later on in Michael Garcia's at-bat, he'd put on his balls of steel. Put on his cojones. Said, all right, I'm going to go steal third. That's exactly what he did. The Orioles challenged it. The call stood. And just like that, the Royals had a runner on third base with 1 out. Maybe something could happen. And Michael Garcia, look, I ain't going to lie, I would have loved a hit. I would have loved a single from Michael, but he did what he needed to do in that moment. Put a ball deep into right field for Anthony Santander to catch it, but it still scored Blanco with his elite speed. And just like that, the Royals are back in business, tied 4-4. And, I didn't think about it too much in the moment. But who trotting out of that Kansas City bullpen would you actually feel comfortable with at this point? The bullpen didn't really show you a whole lot in the first 3 games of the season. Will Smith struggled. Chris Stratton struggled. And new addition, Nick Anderson came out. I was like, okay, Nick had an okay debut. Was it perfect? No. Was he dominant? No. But did he get out of that 1 inning of work he had unscathed? Yeah, sure. Nope. That did not happen on Monday night. Jordan Westberg puts a ball over the right center field fence, and it's a walk-off win for the Baltimore Orioles over the Kansas City Royals. Now, let's back this up and let's look from 1,000-foot level, if you will. Because I know folks are probably out there listening like, Jacob, it's 4 games into the season. What are you doing, man? What are you thinking? What are you talking about? What is up with your tone? And y'all are absolutely right. I'm not saying the 2024 season is over for the Kansas City Royals, but this was a game they should have won. It really was. The bats put them up early. Michael Wacha didn't blow the game. Certainly didn't help it. But 5 innings, 3 earned runs. It's kind of what you should expect from your number 4 guy in the rotation. So I thought that was okay. Okay, the bats need to be able to score more than 3 runs in a game. That's the only way you're going to win. So if Wacha comes in, gives up 3, and then the bullpen does their job, Royals score 1 more run, and we're good. And that's exactly what would have happened. The Orioles were one of the AL's top teams last year. And it is commendable that a lot of folks aren't going to say it. The Orioles are probably better this year than they were last year. And they still have the top prospect in baseball waiting in the wings, playing shortstop down for the Norfolk Tides right now. And they have young talent all over the field. They have some key veterans that they brought in that will help. Craig Kimbrell is the guy that I think of immediately, and he proved his value today. So it's nice that the Royals were able to go toe-to-toe with one of the top teams in the AL, and they needed to lose with a walk-off home run. So there's something there with that. There's a lot more concerns that I see out of this. Okay, I was on the Nick Lofton train thanks to, okay, this guy's going to come, he's going to play a dependable fielder and have value at the plate. He's going to hit. He's finally going to get that first MLB home run that he couldn't get in 2023. That hasn't happened yet. He's hitless in some limited action in 2024. And tonight, he just did not look good playing first base. Now, am I saying... I will say this. I think that Vinny or Salvi would have executed better than Nick Lofton did at first tonight. That's just how it goes. I get it. They pulled Vinny Pasquantino in favor of a pinch runner, Garrett Hampson. What was it? I think it was in the bottom of the eighth. In the top of the eighth when that happened. So I get it. You pull Vinny in that situation. You try to get some speed on the base pass. You already had Bobby standing at second. You had Vinny singled, got Bobby over to third. So do you want Vinny over at first base where possibly you can ground into a double play with Salvador Perez coming up? No, you don't want that. So you put Garrett Hampson on, and he steals second, and now you're looking a lot better. So I get it. It happens. Yeah, I think that was the right call. But Nick Lofton's poor execution in the field made it look like the absolute worst call that manager Matt Quatraro could have made in that situation. But he can't predict the future. You put a guy that should have the tools and the limited experience, because he doesn't have a whole lot of MLB experience, but he's made plays like that several times down in the minors or in his amateur career. He's made that before. And sometimes the baseball gods give and the baseball gods take away. And they certainly took one away from the Kansas City Royals tonight. I'm trying to think of some other things out of this. Usually I would run through the stats and a lot of other good things to talk about, but frankly, we are going to have a tough conversation about Hunter Renfroe at some point. We really are. This is getting to be. What's the phrase? If I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. Okay, that's the point that we're at with Hunter Renfroe. 4 ABs tonight, no hits, didn't move batters over, had no positive impact whatsoever after any of his plate appearances, and he hasn't even had a hit this year yet, which is crazy to me. That's what you brought the guy in for, was to be the power in the bottom half of the Royals lineup. And here he is, not doing any of that. So I'm not hitting the panic button on the Royals 2024 season in the slightest. My finger's hovering over the panic button for Hunter Renfroe. It really is. Especially when this is the first impression that the guy has with the franchise. I think that my leash would be a lot longer with him if he weren't a veteran. If his bat wasn't his calling card. It's not like he has defensive versatility. It's not like he has speed. He's got a great arm out in right field. That's about the only place that has value. It's not like you're going to go ask him to take the bump and throw a changeup and a fastball in the eighth inning. You ask him to put at least 20 over the fence every season, which he has done for many, many years now. And you ask him, hey, at least be an above average bat and help us score some runs. He's done the complete opposite of that so far. So it's just been absolutely frustrating. I cannot stress that enough. John Schreiber, hey, I was a little concerned after a very wild Royals debut that he had on opening weekend. Came in, did his job. Chris Stratton, same thing. Boom. He wasn't dominant, but the Orioles didn't score against him. So that's what really matters. James McArthur, now we're seeing why the Royals did not go into 2024 with him having closer expectations. He had an amazing September, but his season so far has not been great. There's been some command issues. The pitching arsenal just does not look as sharp as I was expecting. It really doesn't. He allowed 3 hits and an earned run tonight against the Orioles. That put them on top. Now, if Nick Lofton makes the plays that he's supposed to make, do those hits or earned runs pile up in the box score? Probably not. Probably not. But we're just not seeing the James McArthur that we saw to close out 2023. Plain and simple. No matter how you slice it, we're not seeing that. And then I already talked about Nick Anderson. I don't have anything else to say about the guy right now. But this Royals bullpen, man, if they're going to go out every single game and allow multiple runs to cross home plate like they have, that's not sustainable. That's not the bats could be as potent as you want. The fielding could be great. The rotation could be much improved, which it has been so far this year. We've seen that, and we get to see Alec Marsh tomorrow. But if the bullpen keeps up with this trend, man, it is going to be a long season. Do I think they turn it around? Yeah, I do. I really do think they turn it around and they settle in. But they gotta do that quick. They really do. All right, y'all. Listen, if you want some more detailed insight into tonight's game, you got to go check out RoyalsReview.com. I know the recap is up right now. I would highly suggest going and checking out the game thread as well. That's where it's, like I said, if I ain't laughing, I'm crying. It's kind of comical to go and look at how the comments change in a game thread as the game progresses. Like, I'm pretty sure after the top of the third inning, the comment thread was pretty dang positive, but after that, it went downhill quick. So go check it out. Go join the Royals Review community. Like I said, right now, I'm coming to you moments after the game wrapped up. I am checking right now to see who we're going to hear from. I know we are going to hear from manager Matt Quatraro on the other side of the ad break. Plus, if there are any other player interviews, I'll drop them in. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good ball game throughout. It was exciting to get back and tie it off Kimbrel. He's one of the best closers in recent history. And obviously to lose in that fashion is heartbreaking. But like we've said, that's a good team. It's a good lineup up and down, and they beat us.
What was the decision to go to Anderson in the ninth instead of Will Smith?
Well, on the road, you still have a chance to have a save opportunity later, but we're playing. We thought the matchup was good at that part in the order for Nick, and that's what we went with.
What did you see out of Michael Wacha today?
Yeah, he kept us in the game. He pitched well. I mean, he had one inning there where they got to him. It was a soft hit ball from Rutschman and a good piece of hitting with 2 strikes from Santander, and then a 2-strike homer. So other than that, he pitched really well. His stuff was good. His changeup was moving. He had extra velo on his fastball.
Is he on any sort of pitch limit today?
No, it was more just a decision because it's hard work navigating that lineup. First time out, he's had 7 days off, and just want to get him out of there at that spot, turning back to the third time through.
Some of the mistakes late, especially in that 8th inning, both offensively and defensively. What did you see, and how did those kind of swing the game?
Yeah, I mean, you got to create the outs that are given to you, and if we had those chances back, obviously we'd like to do that. As far as not capitalizing when we had a chance to bust it open there a little bit, or at least take the lead, you need to capitalize there.
What have you seen from Hunter Renfroe early on in the season? I know he's only played 3 games.
Yeah, just timing's probably a little bit off, a little over anxious when you see balls getting off the end of the bat and stuff, probably just sped up a little bit.
All right, y'all, that is going to do it for today's Royals recap presented by Royals Review. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we will see Alec Marsh make his 2024 debut with the Kansas City Royals, pitching in Camden Yards, so that should be fun. A high strikeout potential from Marsh after he really forced his way into the rotation. So very excited to see what he brings against a good Orioles lineup. Plus, can the bullpen finally prove me wrong? Can they shake this monkey off their back? I really hope they can. So stay tuned there. Also, tomorrow's April 2nd. We're going to have that vote. So keep an eye on RoyalsReview.com for the update and the reaction to that. And if you want to hear myself and Jeremy put our final touches on this whole tax vote, debate, whatever you want to call it, go check out our full-length episode that published Monday morning as well. So thank you everyone out there for listening. I look forward to you tuning in next time. But until next time, go Royals!